The second I start to record. What's going on? Move the mouse here. Back in City Skylines. Never call her Moxie. Thank you. Alright, so here we are back in City Skylines. The town of Winterfell. And where are we at? 4,655 population. We're trying to get to 7,000 at least to unlock our next set of gadgets for building our small town out. Although we start to run into some of those things we don't care as much about, like metro, IT, high density. But there are some things that are worth unlocking. We'll keep an eye on as we go up in population, but we don't want it to happen all in this one part of town. So I think it's time to consider. We have another area for purchase. We do. I think it makes sense to go buy this one over here. Do another residential pocket. We could do farming north or south of that. But also this gets us that much closer up into the mountains. I do want to keep building that way. Maybe build just a little village in that valley down there. Maybe just a house or two at the base, and maybe build a nice national park up there in that basin. Kind of make it out there. Might be kind of nice. We'll figure something out with that, but that's definitely where I want to start expanding to. And another thing that we need to consider is the highway over here. Because right now, we've got a ton of residential demand that we want to start meeting over here. But I do want to do a cloverleaf project over here. Kind of get things moving a little bit better. But let's start over this way first with another little mini downtown area. So let's see what we can do for an exit. Okay, a little time lapse of just dropping in a cloverleaf intersection. It's totally cheating, but I'm getting lazy without move it on consoles. So for right now, this will get us started, but it's a lot bigger than what we need, at least for the time being. We might make this kind of a train hub. So it, having a little bit of extra support over here may not be a bad idea. Cloverleaf ultimately, though, might get kind of bogged down. So we can upgrade that down the road, but let's get some new neighborhoods spun up with a little bit of money that we have. We do need some more residents, or I should say, well, yeah, we need more residents and we need more spaces to move them into. So we've got a 4-lane road with trees here. Let's break off of that and get the straight tool out. Maybe we'll come down 30 units or so that way, or we start to kind of branch off. So I'm going to carry this down here to see what this would look like if we had a train station down here. We don't have trains yet, do we? We do have trams. That is something we could get going. In fact, this may not be a bad area for trams. We plan ahead, which... Pause. Let me think of that right now. Because this actually could be a very cool area for some trams. Just to differentiate, like we could do buses over here, do some trams over here, kind of change things up a bit. We'll do some ferry coverage back and forth. If we can speed people to and from work. So let's think about this then. So this is the tram road. No, let's not upgrade it. Let's make this strip a tram for sure. Just gonna get a little loose with it. Gonna have a road coming through here with the tram service. And we can kind of build everything off of that. Is that too winding for tram? I think that it is. Not specifically that the tram wouldn't be able to handle that. I just don't think it looks very realistic. So this is going to be a little expensive to do it this way. But I like the way that this generally works, is you just delete a piece on either side and you can kind of bend it back in. You get a much more natural bend. And that, at least, is a little bit straighter. I think that's going to look more natural. We'll have some cross streets coming off of it. We've still got a little bit of a bend, right? And it changes the zoning up ever so slightly. I think that works. Let's come in at least 2 units. Actually, I say 2 units. I mean 2 nodes, which is about 20 units. And let's build some grid off of this. We're gonna come off just shy of where we're overlapping. And I'm just kind of stepping you through my process here. It's, you know, it's good to experiment and try different things. So see what works for you. Come off at funky angles. I like that. It's just barely a little bit of overlap. We're getting a little bit gridded here, but it's also just a little bit crooked, and some of these roads come out further than others. We'll have some footpaths and stuff through here, but this is all going to be supported by a nice tram network. Going to kind of get people from various spots along this strip up into the farm area, and maybe tram can bring them to, you know, the train station that we eventually drop in to move people around to the major parts of the map. Let's round this out with some perpendicular streets. That's good there. We'll have to think too, where do we want to hook in maybe some heavier traffic to get up to the railway? Maybe this would be a good street to have as another 4-lane. Can we do a tram bend like that? We can. All right, nice. Let's do that. 4-lane roads with trams. We can bring people this way towards what will ultimately be a train station somewhere up near here. That'll be good. We can kind of have one line that runs up and down. Maybe a line that comes in here to the station and goes up. Another one that comes in here, comes down. Do some different stuff with it. Let's bring this tram network up a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's create some loops for the trams, just so that we can have tram service. This is just tram track right here. If we come off of this, I think it can do that. I'm not 100% sure. It's a pretty tight turn. I think it can do that though. It's gonna be sloppy at best for now. As long as they enable the tram to turn around, that's all that matters. Okay, so those are no longer dead ends. Can we... Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot that I had to pay for the tram depot. So let's hope we have enough enough money coming in. I did a little bit offline, like 2 minutes. I broke out the tree brush, and I just wanted to see what this would look like kind of filled in. I think it's got a really cool look. Because you still have this little sense of a clearing here, right? Where trees have been knocked down to build this town out. Same sort of thing up here. There is kind of a natural clearing here on the edge of the map. I tried to kind of blend that in a little bit. We'll fill this in and get, you know, some of the old European buildings for the high density residential, maybe a little neighborhood up here. We'll pack things in a little bit up here towards the highway. We want to get a train station, a new intersection up here, so lots to do still. Let's see where we're at money-wise. What is our next? Is it 7,000? Let's get some people moving in over here. Then we'll get water next. But we'll follow the same sort of principle. We'll move the residents in these back neighborhoods. But the very back piece here, this is going to be, again, train station somewhere over here, so that's going to get a little noisy. Let's undo that. Because we want commercial here near the end of the streets. Or at least I do. You don't have to. It just makes sense to me. Let's do that. Clean that up while people are moving in. They're going to complain about power. So let's get power over here before they move out. It's going to be a bit of an expensive run for now, but it's worth it in the short term because we're going to get a ton of people moving in over here. A fairly little overlap there. Now let's get this connected into the rest of the system. Let's see if we can move these power lines a little bit just to maximize our residential zoning over here. Fill that in. These streets going. Now that we've got enough money, okay. I remember having a little bit of a problem with this, so let's build a little side road. That should have been a side road with tram tracks. Let's try, yeah, okay, there we go. So there's the depot. That'll let the trams come in and out. Of course, we need to power and water that one too. All right, let's see if we can fix this real quick. So tram track right here. So I just don't want that complaining the whole time that it doesn't have a complete route. We'll clean this up after. So we've got problem after problem here. I keep getting distracted. That's nothing new to longtime fans of the channel. So where was I, right? I was trying to get some tram lines done, or at least a tram line done. We can start moving people up and down this belt as it starts to populate more and more. Actually, come to think of it, let's finish this grid out first. I did get distracted. I got distracted from finishing the grid to figure out where we want to put the stops. That's going to disconnect our power. Let's pause it for a minute. We'll do these roads first. They're probably going to break more power lines in the process. We'll curve this one out just a little bit. Alright, so I've defined a bit of a loose neighborhood over here. Gonna kind of wrap around in by the train tracks. So we'll have to kind of watch the noise over here. Maybe this will be a commercial block down here at the end. Something a little bit different. We just do some parks and things like that. Public service buildings. Let's get the power connected back on the outside of this area now. So that we're not interrupting any zoning. Kind of a long way around, but let's go ahead and hit play and finish painting some zoning over here. So we have a ton of residential, so let's block this off. We can just fill in the rest. Again, I'm going to have commercial all down this main strip, because there is going to be some noise from the tram line, unfortunately. But commercial doesn't mind, so let them have it. We'll do commercial all around. I need something there. All around the tram station here. I think we won't zone over here. Maybe we will commercial. We'll see if it fills in. It may not. It's kind of too much commercial for over here. But let's get this residential demand met. We'll go check on our farmland, see if we're ready for another farm or if we need more high pollutant industry in the meantime. All right, we've got a little bit of money. We've got to start thinking about service coverage over here. So right now we've got none. So we could kind of just work our way in order. We want to do these up on the 4 lanes. No, we'll do them down here. That's healthcare. Fire. I definitely want fire here because they're going to be turning down this way to get to any problems. If we put them on the opposite side, they have to come up here, turn around to head down that way. So we want to try and speed up that process just a little bit. We don't have enough money for that. Let's check our economy and our loans. How are our loans? Still a ways out, so let's borrow some money. I think it's time. We're going to crank our tax rate up to 29% across the board. And we're going to keep an eye on that population growth. As soon as it dips down to 0, we'll go ahead and knock the taxes back down to 12%. But right now it's working very much in our favor. People are still moving in. They're complaining about the taxes. Went up a couple times. 54. People love high taxes. Come on in. Okay, so it looks like it's on the way down now. Every time I say that, we're back on the way up, population-wise. This has been a pretty lucrative trick here. There's still residential demand. I don't want you to abandon the town. I'll pause it there. Let's not push our luck. Go back down to 12%. We got a little bit of money in the bank. And now we can do some police coverage up here. We even have enough money to think about education. Well, let's put the elementary down here just a little bit. We'll see if we can get the high school up here. We can. That's not a bad spot, and that has us pretty much out of money. Let's jump back over here. Think about some tram lines. So I think trams you can stop every 2 blocks even. Totally fine. Stop here, and then we'll alternate the blocks that we stop on the way back. That way there's a stop pretty much a block from everybody. So we'll see if people start using that. That would be nice. That's just the first line though that's going to run people up and down this segment. We're going to carry them up into the farmlands as well too, so that hopefully they'll go that way to work instead of getting in a car. Be preferable at least. I think it would look kind of cool too in this small town approach that we're taking here. Right now we've got pretty isolated pockets, right? And we're gonna start working on a isolated farming pocket up here. But we'll eventually connect them with trains and some ferry service. This may not be a bad spot here on the coast too for maybe some high density European style band high-rise type buildings. It'd be kind of cool here on the waterfront. We can always break out the tree brush and fill that in a bit too if we want to, again, just keep things kind of spaced out. Gotta get a train station somewhere up here for commuters down on this side and something for the industry up here. Oh, we've got a little abandoned cabin too, to make sure to try not to overwrite that. There's an outhouse out there. We could selectively bulldoze something. I guess we'd want to bulldoze that outhouse. I don't know how long that's been sitting there. What's going on in there? Maybe it's a shed. Is it a shed? Shed or outhouse? Vote in the comments down below. There's some stuff piled outside, which would make you think it's a shed. We could get down there on foot too. What am I doing? Let's go say hello to this wolf. Scared him off, apparently. Is that a wolf? Alright, I guess it's a shed. It's not. So for those of you that thought it was an outhouse, sorry. It is not. Bullwinkle Stark on the prowl. We'll have to make him a nice nature reserve up in that basin, like I'd mentioned before. Find a good spot for him. So let's see, our demands have kind of flattened out now, but we're pulling in some money. Our demands started to flatten out there, and then we're getting a bit more of a surge again for residential, which is nice. Keep people moving in. Maybe we could do something over on this side of the highway. Maybe we could carry this around 4-lane coming over, provide tram coverage all the way around this this segment of town. That might be kind of cool. We should paint this off too. Come up with a name for it at some point. I was thinking, since the map is Winterfell, we could name like each town after the different families in the north. But that's too over the top. Let me know if you've got other ideas. I did name a Stark Park, and this is just called Old Town, but this is Weirwood Park, and that could be our Weirwood tree in the absence of mods. If you're on PC, you can get Weirwood trees in your map. Fires, no, please. We have a lot of trees on this map. Do we have the ability to do helicopter depot yet? Fire, helicopter depot. You're going in right now. Right? 55,000? Dang. And why? This doesn't make any sense. The Firewatch towers unlock later. Why is that? I think that might be one of our first purchases, is the helicopter depot at the next or not the helicopter depot, the watchtowers at the next level. Definitely going to be worthwhile. So this intersection right here is definitely going to get clogged. I can tell you already, because it's just going to be too much traffic to have the farmland dumping down onto here also. We'll see what we can do to minimize some of those problems in the next episode, but I think that's a good spot to break. I'm, again, trying to keep these kind of bite-sized. So check back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for new episodes of this Let's Play series. Live streams Thursdays and Saturdays for now, until Game of Thrones season ends, and then we'll get back to the Sunday live streams. Seems to be a better night for everybody. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, likes, comments, shares all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, and until the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.